and welcome into the Sporting News Studios. Tom Vandervoort with Alvin Reynolds, longtime NFL defensive assistant coach, the Denver Broncos. They got to the playoffs with Tim Tebow. They went out and got Peyton Manning. You have to start with Peyton and what he does for an offense and what he does for the whole team really coming to the Denver Broncos. Just tell me about Peyton Manning and your initial thoughts about him.
Well, I really do have some great thoughts because I actually, when I was at Jacksonville, I competed against him for 4 years. So we played
twice a year.
We played him twice a year, and I tell you, he's a load. Okay, one of the best ever on the field quarterbacks at actually understanding not only what he's doing, but what the defense is doing, and getting them into the best play. I mean, he is really, really good at that. You know.
So mentally, it's interesting to me because when I think about Peyton, we know he can make the throws. He's very smart back there, but there's a work ethic that goes along with this guy. Looking at film, that it almost feels like it pulls his teammates along with him because if this guy, a Hall of Fame quarterback, works as hard as he does, it feels like everyone else better get to work too.
You know, I think he's really, you think about it, for the many years he's been in the league, is a catalyst for some of these younger guys like the Drew Brees, the Aaron Rodgers, to emulate. And to say this is what a quarterback should be like, this is what a quarterback does for a program. And when you look at Peyton, what he brings is that swagger, that image to that team. And they're going to have a chance to win if he's there. Because what he does, he works so hard. He's going to outwork the other opponent. That's what he's going to do.
We talk so much about this league being a quarterback league, and what I hear you saying is that Peyton Manning was one of the guys that's really redefined that quarterback position as far as taking on all these responsibilities for the offense so that so much goes through him, and therefore so much is dependent upon him. It's dependent upon him staying healthy.
That's exactly. It depends on him staying healthy because it's exactly what I'm saying. He's, like I said, the prototype quarterback for that. And AKA, that's the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker.
He does it all.
I mean, he does it all because, he's an excellent quarterback. He really is. And what I see with them now is that even in the first preseason game, him calling the plays, the protections at the line of scrimmage, does a pointing and gyration. Sometimes it means everything and sometimes means nothing,
right.
For what he's actually doing. Some of them are decoy signals, but he's great at it. And I think as the offensive goes along with Peyton and gets some continuity during the preseason, I'll see him getting better also in the passing game. Because right now I don't think the passing game is up to his standards, and we all know his standard is very high.
How hard is it for the rest of his? We know Brandon Stokely, Jacob Tammy, these are guys that are familiar with Peyton, but a lot of guys have to get used to work with him, and clearly they're in a very different place from where they ended up last year as far as the offense they run.
I think it's a lot like when we were talking about the Ray Lewises of the league. They're guys that come in and they set a certain standard. So when a guy sets that kind of standard like Peyton, like Ray Lewis does, and now like Peyton's doing with Denver, those guys gladly come along for that standard and that ride, And
so they just have to get used to playing with him where he wants them to be.
Where he wants them. And I think it's more of the timing part of it. And I think they'll get there.
Now, on the defensive side of the ball, they were very good last year. They lose their defensive coordinator, Dallas Allen, who goes to the Raiders, but they bring one of your old coaches, Jack Del Rio, in there.
Jack Del Rio.
And if you look at each level of their defense, you look at Dumerville up front, and Von Miller, a great linebacker. Joe Mays is there in the middle. And then Champ Bailey still has to be considered one of the best corners in the league. We talk a lot about Revis and Nnamdi Asomugha, but Champ Bailey's been doing it year after year.
You know what, I hear people say last year when Tebow actually got to play for Denver that the defense got stronger. I think what you'll see the consistency right from the start with Jack Del Rio at the helm. Great defensive mind, linebacker himself.
Yep.
And with Von Miller and Alvis Dumerville, those type of talent, and like you said, Champ Bailey, outside being able to cover one-on-one against, the receiver. And then I don't know if you noticed, but they added Tracy Porter on the other side, the other corner. So they've gotten stronger. They've gotten stronger on defense. So I look for them to do great things on defense this year.
So playoff team, won a round in the playoffs. Now you add Peyton Manning. Just sitting back and looking at it, you'd say there's a lot of potential here to do some great things. John Fox has obviously gotten another team to the Super Bowl, so the coaching staff would appear to be solid. Yeah. Where do you see Denver ending up?
Well, because the NFC West, who everybody says like last year were equal, the 88 records.
Right.
I just think Peyton brings a different aspect to the Denver Broncos, and I think they'll be just a little bit better than 8-8. I think they'll be 11-5.
Okay.
That's what I think they'll do.
11-5, the Denver Broncos. For Coach Alvin Reynolds, I'm Tom Vandervoort. Thanks for watching.